All right, folks, welcome in. This is Yankees Unloaded, one half of it. You saw Gary for the most part last night, one half of Yankees Unloaded. Well, I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and I'm here to talk about some breaking news because the Yankees just acquired Devin Williams, the star reliever from the Milwaukee Brewers, in exchange for Caleb Durbin and Nestor Cortes. So I'm going to get into it. Before I do, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on socials at JK Bogan and follow Gary Sheffield Jr. on socials at Gary Sheffield Jr. All right, guys. So this was a huge pickup, I think, for the Yankees. They will go after Devin Williams, who's in a contract year with the Milwaukee Brewers. And Devin Williams, let me just tell you right now, I have it right in front of me. He's second in ERA with at least 200 innings pitched for relievers. He's second in ERA among all relievers. He's fourth in K per 9 innings. He's sixth in home runs per 9 innings and first in hits per 9 innings. He's truly one of the elite pitchers in the league, and especially in the bullpen. What you're getting with him, not necessarily a guy that's going to blow it right by you. He doesn't have 100-mile-an-hour stuff like a Clase or anything like that. But Devin Williams has a career 1.83 ERA. He's 27-10, and he's got 68 saves with a 1.02 whip, 375 strikeouts. Now, he's in a contract year as well as the guy that they're sending in Nestor Cortes. Here's why it doesn't matter, though. He's a reliever. The Yankees are most likely going to pay him either before the season, during the season, or after the season. Relievers are a lot easier to go out and get on a contract year and pay than, say, a big-time bat like we're talking about with either Juan Soto, who just went to the Mets, or Kyle Tucker, who the hope is he'll go to the Yankees. This is a huge move for the Yankees because it really shores up that bullpen. And the bullpen is already really good, but we've all been talking about they need like one or two guys in the offseason. And so there have been talks about Jeff Hoffman. There have been talks about Tanner Scott. There have been talks about, Carlos Esteves, all those guys. But the Yankees clearly did not like the cost of those guys. They didn't like how much it was going to cost in free agency. So they said, you know what? Let's make a trade. And Devin Williams has been rumored to be on the block for quite some time. I got to give my co-host Gary a big shout out because he's the one that mentioned Devin Williams back in March as somebody the Yankees should go after. So look, now the Yankees have another elite arm in the bullpen. And to me, I think this is big because Luke Weaver is not a guarantee to be the closer. Okay, what he did last year was great. And I really love Luke Weaver, and I think a lot of Yankee fans do. But the big thing here to keep in mind, Luke Weaver has never shown what he's shown at the end of the last season. So it is fair to say, look, I have hope he's going to continue this. But where did this come from? So if he's the closer or if it's Devin Williams, it doesn't really matter. Both of them are going to play off each other well. And the Yankees have the best 1-2 punch in the bullpen that you could probably have in the league right now. If Weaver continues to pitch at that level and you just added Devin Williams, you're in really good shape. So love this move for that reason. For also the flexibility reason, because they're, relief pitchers are a lot easier to re-sign than a bat. So I have no issue with the contract year coming up. You still have guys like Ian Hamilton, Jake Cousins, Mark Leiter Jr., who pitched really well in the World Series, Clayton Beeter, who they've talked about, Cody Poteet, and Scott Effross, among other guys. I mean, they're still trying to bring back Tim Hill. They're trying to bring back Tommy Kahnle. And they brought back Jonathan Loaizaga. So they got their two bullpen guys. They could bring back Hill and Kahnle because they both have mutual interest. And now this bullpen is absolutely loaded. And it's good because the way Aaron Boone uses this bullpen, you don't really have a choice. So I really like this move for that reason. Obviously, you go on Baseball Savant. You know I'm one step ahead of everybody on that. I always check Baseball Savant. I know a lot of people do, so I don't want to say that. But the fastball velo, he's in the 61st percentile. Like I said, he's going to be throwing an average of 94.7, but he mixes his pitches well with the four seam, the change, the cutter. He's 98th percentile in extension. He's not really the ground ball pitcher, so you're going away from Clay Holmes, who is a very, trying to generate soft contact, pitches to contact, where you're getting a guy who, let's be honest here, strikes out a lot of guys. So I really like this. I understand they went out and they got a ground ball pitcher in Fried, but I don't like having a closer that's pitching to contact. So I think they saw last year or this past year what having somebody like Luke Weaver can do for you when he's striking out the side or striking out all six guys in his 2 innings of work. Now you care about the strikeouts. And guess what? Devin Williams misses bats. That's just the way it is. He's among 90 percentile in all of, relief pitchers in expected ERA, expected batting average allowed. He's 61st percentile in, fastball velo, like I said. Average exit velocity, and this is the big thing. Not only does he generate strikeouts, but he also generates soft contact. We're talking about 84.2 average exit velo. That's among the 99th percentile. His off-speed run value is a 4. That's in the 80 percentile. His whiff rate is among the best in the league. His strikeout rate is among the best in the league. His barrel rate, giving up a 95 mile an hour exit velo or more, is in the 90 percentile. Hard hit percentage. So this guy doesn't give you blow away 103 mile an hour Emmanuel Clase stuff. But what he does is he generates strikeouts, and because he's more of a breaking type of pitcher instead of a velocity type of pitcher, this is a guy that generates strikeouts, and then when they get contact on him, it's soft. It's soft contact that you can manage. So I love this move. You're getting a guy who struck out 375 batters in 235 and 2/3 innings. Like, this is fantastic. This is the best of all worlds. The Yankees get their soft contact guy, but they get a guy who strikes out tons of batters. So love this move. I do think it is a real big deal here. This isn't just like, okay, yeah, 1-year deal. Are they going to bring him back? No, they are going to bring him back. And they get him on a discount here, in my opinion, because as much as I do like Nestor Cortes and I appreciate him, as much as I was excited for Caleb Durbin, let's look at the facts here. Cortes had about 2 good months last year, right? 2 good months. And he had a hard time pitching at home. He struggled. And furthermore, when you look at this, Caleb Durbin, they hit him. And I kept saying this. They did a really nice job of hiding him to this point. But guess what? Now they just traded Caleb Durbin. What did they do all off season? They've just sung his praises. They've said he's the odds-on favor, the betting odds favor right now, to be the second baseman. So it tells me that maybe they weren't that comfortable with him being a second baseman. And maybe they were playing the market a little bit and they were talking him up. And you know what? That's the makings of a good roster. That's the makings of a good organization. And right now, to have an off season where you've gotten Fried, you've added Loaizaga back, which, by the way, that deal is awesome because you have that team option in 2026. So a very, very awesome cost control type of contract. And now you add Devin Williams to go with what you found with Luke Weaver, to go with what you found with Jake Cousins and Mark Leiter Jr., potentially Clayton Beeter, who they have been talking up. Maybe that's a trade, maybe not. Ian Hamilton looking for a bounce back season, and Cody Poteet, and probably some other guys. So I feel really good about this move. Really good. Is it a bummer to see Caleb Durbin not get an opportunity? Yeah, it is. but not when you get an all-star level guy in Devin Williams. Williams he's got better stuff than Luke Weaver and probably should close. But regardless where they go with, if Luke Weaver pitches like he did last year, they have two closers. It's like having two aces, which, by the way, the Yankees did that, and they added Max Fried to go with Garrett Cole. So I love what their offseason has been. You lose Juan Soto. That hurts. I'm not going to say it doesn't, and it hurt in the moment. But they're trying to get Kyle Tucker. They're trying to get Cody Bellinger. What I want to say in addition to Caleb Durbin, the fascinating thing about that is it opens the door for them to go out and get a Gold Glove second baseman and Nico Horner from the Cubs in that Bellinger trade, because he's also on the block for them. And in addition to that, if they don't go after, Nico Horner here, they could turn, their sights over to Oswald Peraza and say, look, we believe in you. You were a top prospect for us. We maybe not have given you the best opportunity, but second base is yours. Or they could go to your beat B-Boss, who they got from the Dodgers last year. They traded away a first-round pick that they had for him in Trey Sweeney. And maybe they say, look, B-Boss, go and take over second. Or they go out and they trade for somebody that I didn't just mention. So there's a lot of options there, but one thing I'll say is this. When you add 286 ground balls, which is how many that were generated by Max Fried last year, you're going to need to shore up your defense. So no, I do not believe Gleyber Torres is going to be back because of this. I don't think so. If he is back, which I don't think is going to happen, now you have one of the better leadoff hitters in the league. I mean, the way he finished last year was incredible. But I think the defense is having a heavy emphasis on it. They could also go out and decide, you know what, we're going to get Jazz Chisholm moved over to second base, and we're going to go and trade for, a third baseman. Or we're going to sign Alex Bregman. There are different options that they have now. So I do... while it sucks to see Durbin go, because I like the homegrown talent and everything, and I like all the Altuve comparisons, and I like the, contact bat. At the same time, you're going out and you're getting somebody who's a game changer in Devin Williams. So I give this move an A+. I really do. It's just, if you tried to trade for Devin Williams 2 years ago, this would have cost you an arm and a leg. But trading away a starting pitcher who may or may not be in the rotation this year, if this trade isn't made, and who's in a contract year, and with all due respect to Caleb Durbin, trading away an infielder who's never been a top 30 prospect, and who knows? We've never seen him play for the Yankees. To get a guy like Devin Williams is huge. Because I'll tell you right now, if you tried to trade for Mason Miller right now, or you tried to trade for Emmanuel Clase, it would cost you almost your whole farm system. And that's no different if you try to trade for Devin Williams with years of control. We get all excited for years of control, but this is the position to go after. And if you can get a reliever like this, this is no different than getting Chapman when they signed him to a deal. They're going to sign Devin Williams to a deal. This is going to be a long-term guy. He's 30 years old. He's going to give you a lot. I think they sign him, probably give him a 7-year deal or something like that, 6-year deal. But he's going to be a Yankee for a long time. I think this is a fantastic move. And I think Cashman and Hal deserve a lot of credit, because I love the way they've gone into this. They didn't waste any time going out and getting Max Fried. They could have gone with Corbin Burns, who I wanted, but I understand they have a plan of attack with Max Fried. So right now, they're off season. I can't give it an A+ because they haven't filled the Juan Soto hole, which is huge. But the 3 pitchers that they've added, Loaizaga can be one of the best relievers in the league if he stays healthy. He's got unbelievable stuff. And then you have Devin Williams, who's got unbelievable stuff. And he is one of the best relievers in the league. And then you go on and you get one of the best starting pitchers in the league. So right now, the Yankees, they're like, okay, we lost Soto, but for the time being, we're going to upgrade our pitching. And now they're trying to get a Tucker deal done. They're trying to get Bellinger. We'll see if Horner's involved. But look out, because the Yankees are serious. This isn't a half-ass approach. They are really serious about righting the ship and changing this thing around. And I give them a lot of respect for it. So my final thoughts, Devin Williams, huge, huge move. This is something that you celebrate. This is a move that you celebrate. In the 8th inning, you could turn it over to Williams, or you could turn it over to Luke Weaver. And then the 9th, you could turn it over to Williams or Luke Weaver. That's a great 1-2 punch. And I'm so glad that the Yankees didn't go cheap here. And they decided, look, we need another guy. We love what we saw out of Luke Weaver. But there is a chance that what we saw was a great end to the year, but it isn't necessarily sustainable moving forward in his career. And we just have to be understanding of that. So we'll see what ends up happening in regards to Kyle Tucker if they get that deal done. Personally, I'm not giving the Cubs anything. I'm not helping them out at all because they are the opponents in the Tucker battle. They're trying to get Kyle Tucker. I'm not trying to give them any sort of money flexibility by taking on Cody Bellinger's deal before this deal's made. But as soon as you lock in the Kyle Tucker deal, I absolutely take on Cody Bellinger. So I think the next big question is, and it sounds like Cashman and Howell are reluctant to move on from Luis Heel, who is the rookie of the year. Whether I believe that or not is irrelevant. We're waiting on that final chip to fall, that domino to fall. And we're going to see, can the Yankees get this deal done for Kyle Tucker? And if they can, there is no doubt about it, this team is going to be better in 2025 than they were in 2024. So that's all I got for you guys. Quick hitter, isolated video on this topic. I texted Gary. Obviously, he wasn't able to do it. He's got the baby and such. So, look, really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for supporting us. We hit over 5,000 subscribers. That doesn't happen without you guys. So you guys have really showed out and showed up, every single live stream. So really appreciate you. And that's going to do it. Devin Williams is a New York Yankee. Take care, folks. Later.